Oh, you want me to repeat the question? So you're asking if there's a huge divide between our conservative culture and then sort of media being hypersexualized?
Yeah, and how do you think that young girls can get past that? And like what would be, how can, like that's so confusing.
Totally. I talk about this with people a lot. You know, I think that that's part of what I was saying about living in a culture that doesn't have really good sex education or sexual communication, and that there's a lot of guilt and shame about sex, and so we get really dual messages a lot. And I mean, it's different across the country, and it's different in different forms of media, and like there's no holistic message, but there are a lot of messages that really are about misogyny and patriarchy and oppression and all that kind of stuff. So what would I tell people? I would go back to what I said about having a critical consciousness. And I think it's also about really being active and being a role model and interrupting some of those systems, which I think is hard, especially around kids, right? Like my partner, her niece is like 5, and her parents keep buying her sort of princess dolls or whatever, and so like they're in this like engaged in this whole conversation about what that means and the whole like narrative of like princesses and blah blah blah. I think those are like really good conversations to have and sort of be aware of like what's that going on. It doesn't mean that you have to make some sort of a decision or you have to do whatever, but to be engaged in that dialogue is really important, and to be critical of like what kind of media and what kind of things that we're taking in. And I think that can start here. Like put a little book on tape, like, you know, yeah, so, yeah.